Sandy Says Read. Welcome to the channel. This evening we are celebrating Christmas time. Look at my shirt, you guys. It's huge. I ordered this thing and it came in huge. Okay, it's kind of, I don't know if you can see, it says Charisse. And on this side over here, this one is Nigel and Charisse. Yeah, I had a sweater made of the characters in my Choices novel for Christmas because I'm insane like that. I just thought it tickled me, so I did it. And it's a medium. It's a size medium, and yet look at this. It is just simply huge. It is just simply huge. Oh, well, there you go. I like it a lot. But it says you and me and the cat because you had to put an animal of some kind on it, and you could do cats or dogs. And in the Choices series, there is a cat at the estate. And if you've read the series, then you know Charisse uses some hair from the cat for a purpose. There you go. So there's a cat on this. It's silly. It's crazy. It is what it is. Tonight, you guys, we're not going to talk about my clothing anymore. Tonight, we're going to do a quick review of Shards by Linda Bleser. And this is a sort of a Christmas story, sort of a romance. It's hard to explain. It's hard to express myself. It's hard to explain, but I'm going to do my best. I'm going to review, talk about it, and you can decide if it's a romance. How's that? But first, a word from our sponsor, which is me. I know. You guys, I still have my mug for you guys to check out. I have a Spreadshirt shop called SandySaysRead, and at that shop, I have some merchandise like mugs and shirts and aprons and hats, things like that, with nice little sayings on them about dragons, nice little sayings about books, where you can basically order gifts for people on your Christmas list. Proclaim your reading comprehension skills. That's it. Commercial's over. Oh yeah, I'll put that link in the drop-down box below. Now, commercial's over, and let's talk about Shards by Linda Bleser. Okay, I will read the back cover for you. When Angie Winterbrook is diagnosed with an incurable form of cancer, all she can hope for is one last storybook Christmas with her family. But Christmas morning never comes. Instead, Angie finds herself bargaining with the angel of death, forging an agreement almost impossible to fulfill. Okay, see, it doesn't really sound like a romance, does it? But there is this underlying hint of romance in this book that just kind of blew my mind. I mean, it works as a romance, like a paranormal romance, I guess you would say. Okay, so here are the specs for you guys. Shards by Linda Bleser, self-published in 2016. This is 78 pages. I got this book at the Florida West Coast Writers Ignite Your Imagination Conference. I think I got it right this time, you guys. If not, I will put the correct title in the drop-down box below. I got it at the conference back in May. I had won a raffle basket, and this book was in the raffle basket. Yay! So I saved it to read for the Christmas time. For Christmas time. I saved it to read for Christmas time because it's got this Christmas angel on the front, some Christmas stuff, and the scenes take place around Christmas time. Most of the scenes take place around Christmas time. Here's how that comes about. Our main character, Angela McBride, she goes by Angie. She is diagnosed with cancer just about a week or so before Christmas. Okay, so here it is, the holidays, and she's got this devastating news. The doctor's like, yeah, we're going to have to remove both of your breasts, and there's some like radical radiation type treatment we can try too. We might be able to save your life, maybe. I mean, it's bad news. I mean, it's crushing news, and like a week or so before Christmas, and she's concerned. She's like, of course she's concerned, but she's also concerned that she's going to like ruin everybody's Christmas by telling them, hey, might be my last Christmas with y'all. I mean, she doesn't want to ruin everyone's Christmas. She doesn't want to tell anyone. So she keeps this news to herself. She doesn't tell anyone. On Christmas Eve, she is rocking her 2-year-old son to sleep. Yeah, she's got a 2-year-old son. His name is Bobby. She's rocking Bobby to sleep, and it's a lovely, endearing moment. She's thinking about traditions of that her family has had, traditions of the past. One of those traditions is the Christmas angel. There's this little like crocheted, soft angel that has been in his crib, and on Christmas Eve night, she takes it out of the crib and she puts it on top of the tree. And this is the tradition, the custom. This is what her family has always done. They take that little angel and they put it on top of the tree on Christmas Eve. So Christmas morning, the Christmas angel is looking down on everyone as they open their gifts. And this is just a tradition that they've always done. And so she's telling the story to the little boy as he's falling asleep. She takes the angel and she's going to go put it on the tree, but she falls asleep and she wakes up when there's something happening in the room. There's like this dark figure, and it's the angel of death. And she's like, dude, no. I need to be here in the morning for my family. I didn't think you would come so soon. And he's like, I'm not here for you. I'm here for your kid. And she's like, no, I was ready for me to go on to my eternal reward. You can't take my son. No, what can I do? And she starts to bargain with him. She's like, what can I do instead? What can I do to take his place? What can I do to protect and save him? And the angel of death is like, well, there is something you can do. You've got to give up your soul. And she does, like that. She's like, okay, I can do that. He's like, do you understand what you're saying? You will be giving up your soul. And she's like, yeah, okay. So he does. He basically takes her soul off with that, and she dies. And the implications of that are not like discussed in the book. I was horrified by that in that moment. I'm like, holy crap, is she going to hell? What's happening now? Well, what happens now is she wakes up in an alternate time frame, an alternate like plane of existence. And, I like to read a little snippet for you guys in here. So the snippet that I'm going to read for you is when she awakens. It's called the Akashic Records, because that's the name of the title of the chapter that's starting now. I'll spit it out in a second here, guys. The Akashic Records, because the angel of death keeps these records on everybody. And so when you die, you get to see your records. Here's all the books, the records of your life. She's not going to get to see her records because her soul is gone. Only souls get to see their records. Like, she's given up. The book explains she's given up a lot. I mean, they don't explain the big things she's given up, but, here we are. Okay. Angie opened her eyes in a field of light. The air smelled sweet, like summer jasmine, and there was a sound, not quite music, but more like a gentle humming vibration that rose and fell as if swept on a breeze. Is this heaven? She asked. Those sad, sad eyes held her captive for a moment. Then he shook his head. Only those with souls can enter the heavenly plane. Then where? She blinked, and suddenly they were on a forest path. Sunlight streamed through a canopy of trees. She smelled fresh air and pine, none of which had been there before. Liam took a slow, deep breath. You're in the space between heartbeats, the place where galaxies are born. You are in the infinite. I think that's it's a very pretty setting, very prettily described, very interesting, very non-biblical, but very pretty and cool. So what happens is Angie and Liam, she names the angel of death Liam because he looks like Liam Neeson. They hang out together, and he's explaining to her, at some point he finally explains to her, look, the people on earth, the people left behind, they do grieve for you. They do cry for you. And the only way that you can get your soul returned to you or back is by gathering those tears, gathering the shards of your soul. And the shards of your soul are in their tears, basically. So when they cry, it's shards of her soul. So she can gather those. Well, the more time goes by, the less people cry for her. The less people think on her and dwell on her and cry for her. So she's got to do this quickly or she won't be able to gather all the shards of her soul. And Liam even makes a comment that, people have tried this before and failed. You would be the first if you managed to get all of your soul back together. I mean, he has basically doomed her is what what I gathered from this. I mean, Liam, the angel of death, is not exactly her friend at the beginning of this. I mean, he may have saved her son, but he has doomed her, basically. She's doomed. Now, where does the romance come in? I don't know. We're getting to that. Okay, so she is able to visit her family, visit her son and husband, ex-husband, former husband, each Christmas. So on like the anniversary of her death, basically, she's able to visit them. But she's not there. They don't see her, but she can see them. She can visit them. She can check in on them, see how they're doing. Time is passing differently for her and them, as it would in the astral plane. So time is changing for her. But she's seeing them. She's getting to see her son grow a bit. In a few years, though, her husband, Rob, remarries. He marries a woman named Holly. And Holly is this just very understanding, very loving woman. She continues to speak to Bobby, the child, about Angie, who has passed away. She continues to show him pictures and talk to him about his mother and keep her alive in his memory. They're not crying for her anymore, but they are talking about her. They are remembering her. They're keeping her spirit in their family, so to speak, which is very nice, which is very lovely. I thought that was a lovely thing to have included in the book, that the woman that Rob falls in love with in the future is such a kind-hearted woman. She turns out to be a clairvoyant woman, and she has seances at people's houses, and she calls Angie to the seance. She calls Angie from the afterlife, wherever she's hanging out. She calls her to this seance and asks Angie to assist other people connect with their loved ones who have passed on. And so Angie's like, can I do that? And Liam's like, you can if you want to. And so she is able to help people on Earth. She's able to help people. And so her arc is that she is helping others, even though she's dead. She's not able to help herself, but she can help others. And so she wishes to help others. And time goes on. And eventually, little Bobby grows up, goes to college, meets a gal, brings her home. They get married and they have a child. And that little child, they name Angie after the woman who passed away, after Grandma. They name her Angie. And Angie is visiting and sees this little baby and is like overwhelmed with love. She's overcome with love for her granddaughter that she's never gotten to hold and she will never get to hold. And she's just overcome with love and wants to protect this child. And Liam says, well, you could be her guardian angel. You could protect this child. You would have to leave the plane of existence that you've been on with me. You would no longer be with me. You would no longer be helping me. We would no longer be partners. And this is a moment of like conflict for Angie, because during the story, she has been working with Liam. She has been helping others with Liam. They have been helping people move on from this plane to heaven. And she has come to appreciate him. She has grown, what's the My Fair Lady song? She's grown accustomed to his face. She has basically come to appreciate and lean on him, and he has come to appreciate and lean on her. So they have developed a friendship that is becoming more than friendship. And so she's going to miss him if she leaves that plane of existence to stay with this child and be its guardian angel. But that's what she wants to do. And she goes, yeah, that's what I want to do. Will I ever get to be with you again? And he's like, well, upon this child's passing, the child will move on and you can come back to work with me. And she's like, I would like to do that. Let's do that. So they do. They make that arrangement. And so Liam goes off to do whatever he does, and she doesn't see him for 100 years. This baby, little Angie, lives for 100 years. Then, eventually she's in a nursing home and she passes away. And, our Angie, the ghost, is with her when she passes. And it's like this loving and tearful and compassionate and love-filled moment of death. And so the baby Angie, who has grown to be 100, passes on, goes to her eternal reward. And our Angie, the ghost, does not get to pass on, but she does cry for herself. She cries because her granddaughter is now gone, and this granddaughter that she has loved and cared for and watched out for and protected for 100 years is gone, and she cries for herself, and her tears are the final shard for her soul. So she gets her soul back, and that's delightful. So she has her soul back, but she decides, okay, I'm going to stay with Liam now because I love him. And so they, I don't know, do not live, but go through that happily ever after. They exist happily ever after. So they're together helping people pass through the afterlife. And that's the Christmas story of Soul Shards. I think there was I think it was a romance. I think it was a paranormal romance for Christmas. It was intriguing. Thumbs up for confusing paranormal romances. No, it's not confusing. I shouldn't say that because it was what it was. I mean, it was a novella of death. Death for Christmas. But lovely death. Lovely death of people finding love. There you go. Thumbs up. And you guys, you have to click the bell notification icon to be notified each time I do these crazy random reviews of Christmas death. Thanks for tuning in.